Hello, online crew. And I got a special guest with me today on today's training, especially for our crew here. Please help me welcome Mr. Ferny Ceballos. Ferny is what I call as the master, the godfather of attraction marketing. A lot of people in my community would be familiar with Ferny, but there would also be some people that are not. But we are here to talk about an amazing topic today regarding attention grabbing hooks that stop the scroll. This is something that is really important with building on social media. Because as Ferny and I were just talking, some of you might have amazing content, but if nobody sees it, if you're not grabbing people's attention, what's the point? So I'm really excited for Ferny to share this training with what he's going to share with you today and really help you understand the importance of a hook and how you can actually change and implement some things in your business to get better traction and attract people's attention quicker. So thank you, Ferny, for joining me today. How are you?
I'm great, Helen. Thank you for having me again. It's been a few weeks or a few months. I time flies, and
It, it, it,
uh,
it does.
I know you've been, dealing with some health stuff that I think you've gotten under control with diet, and that's awesome. I'm working on the same journey for different reasons,
Yep.
as well. And so it's just as we're entrepreneurs, running a business, it just takes a lot more of your brain power and energy than maybe a regular old job. And so we got to stay on top of it so that we can do this for a little bit longer. So I've been on that journey along with you in a different way.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really thank you for your time. Those of you that don't know Ferny's been one of my mentors for a number of years now. Sometimes you need somebody in your corner to, guide you, kick you in the butt. You want to step into the shoes of somebody that's far more successful than you, and that's definitely Ferny. So Ferny's helped guide me over the years. A lot of what I've, succeeded online, I've taken the skills that Ferny's taught me and implemented them and grown them and to the things that I've been able to achieve today. So Ferny's what's the figure these days, Ferny? I think it was over 40 million online or something in your lifetime or your career or something.
Well, we're about at 50 million now. So
around about 50 million now, just a lazy 50 million, guys. So if you don't know Ferny, this is a training that you want to definitely listen to because he knows his stuff. Somebody that earns that kind of income doesn't get there by chance. There's a lot of skills that Ferny has learned over the way, and I'm thankful to have somebody like Ferny in my corner helping me, along my journey. It never stops. You're always you're growing. You get to a different level. You have a different hurdle. There's always a challenge to overcome, isn't there, Ferny?
yeah, but the funny thing is, this is going to surprise people. There are new skills to learn as you grow. There are new things that you're going to learn in order to be able to scale and sustain the scale. Especially if you want to be able to scale and grow your business while reducing the time that you spend on your business. But the most important thing I found that sets aside leaders and sets aside the best people in any space, from the amateurs or anyone else that struggles, is the focus on the basics. Practicing the basics over and over again, going back to the basics, is such a key part of doing well. Teaching, like what you do, Helen, and what I do, many people ask, it's like, oh, if you're so successful and built the network marketing business and all that stuff, why don't you just go do that and teach it, or go do that versus, teach it. What are you doing teaching? The cynical people that will comment on your posts and your ads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, teaching is part of the secret. Teaching
Mm-hmm.
others and sharing with other people is how you gain mastery. It's how you understand what you're doing on a deeper level, and you gain insights. Every time I teach something, even what I'm going to teach today, which I've known for almost 20 years, I learned something just by the process of teaching. I kind of discover something new that heightens my skill set that much more. And so the way somebody becomes masterful at something, part of the secret is to teach it to others. And that's
Yep.
what I think, that's what makes network marketing so cool, is like, you only get to the upper echelon of this space by becoming a teacher. So you want to learn from teachers. You want to learn from people who actively put themselves out there teaching, it's not a reason to be cynical. The reason they're teaching is because it's one of the key things that they do to stay on top of their game. If you stop teaching, then you might start losing it. It's you have to practice it and you got to teach it. And I think those are two key things that elevate us. And so that's the reason Helen and myself do keep doing this to this day.
It keeps you relevant too, I think, Ferny.
Yeah,
When you're teaching
you don't want to
things.
be the one guy teaching outdated stuff, right?
It forces you to sort of keep up with things and learning, and my brain moves forward. It's like, oh, I love that, I'm going to teach that, and it's like, oh, hang on, I don't really know how to teach that, but it'll force me to go and like really get into the groove with something, and then I learn so much by turning around and teaching it. So yeah, I love what you just shared.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So talk to us about attention grabbing content, Ferny, and attention grabbing hooks, and how important this is to, my audience. They're growing on social media. The whole goal is to get eyeballs and get traction from social media. And
Mhm.
people can work really hard at putting out social media content, but not get much reaction or engagement or traction. So I know for myself the hook, the kind of the attention grab is a huge part of that
Mhm.
piece. So can you share with us your thoughts around that and your learnings and wisdom around how important this is and how to go about it?
Yeah. Well, before I do that, one of the reason, let's say, for example, I do marketing online. My strength, my big muscle with marketing online and attracting leads, generating leads, attracting prospect, drawing an audience is advertising. So advertising and automation, that's like my big muscle.
Yep.
And that's actually a skill set that I taught Helen. Helen learned how to do that very well. And the cool thing about that is Helen was able to take the foundations of what she learned and translate it to organic strategies, social media strategies. You see, she's going viral on TikTok, crushing it on TikTok, and as well as other social media platforms. Helen is not able to do that unless without having learned what she learned from me initially. But what she learned from me, wasn't advertising. What she learned from me wasn't automation. She learned those things, but that wasn't the most important thing that helped her do really well on social media. My question to everybody here is, can anyone guess the skill that Helen learned that she was able to translate and use on all these social media platforms she's on? She uses it every day. She uses it in her TikTok videos. She uses it even here on this live and how she promoted it. I'm curious, what skill do you think Helen learned from me that she uses now every day to this day in every aspect of her organic marketing in her groups? I'm looking at comments. People are afraid to answer, Helen.
Yeah, they are. Come on, come on, come on, guys. Just have a
Yeah,
stab at it. Have a guess.
yeah. Have a stab at it. Don't be afraid. Because it's the reason I'm sharing this. It's $1 million skill set, and the reason I'm talking about it, it's because it's more important than learning how to use TikTok. It's more important than learning how to use Reels. More important than learning how to use Facebook or Instagram. The platform doesn't matter. YouTube. Learning how to use YouTube. Interesting thing is when TikTok first and Reels first came out, I was just watching, I was just observing, and I had the reaction that Helen you had initially, where you see this new platform, you're like, oh man, I don't know how that works. That's new. Kind of you feel like you're kind of intimidated. Um, and then you kind of just observe it. And as you start seeing things happen, especially as you start seeing people start doing well on those platforms, you all of a sudden realize, okay, I know what's happening here. Like, I know the reason this works. I know the reason Helen's, videos went viral. Because I'll be honest, I haven't done jack squat on TikTok. it's like I avoid TikTok like the plague. um, I don't. I log on TikTok sometimes out of curiosity, but for me, I'm good with Reels on Facebook and Instagram as a user. TikTok's just not my jam. But I have many students who are highly successful with TikTok, Helen being one of them, Mike and Carla being others that are very successful on TikTok. In fact, I was the one that introduced Mike and Carla to TikTok. It's like, hey, you guys should go check this out. And here's
Mhm.
the reason. It's because I basically figured out TikTok. Without having used TikTok, I figured out how it worked. I figured out the opportunity. I was like, here's what you want to do. And then they went around 30 days later, they get 120,000 followers on TikTok. And they went because they went viral.
Yeah.
And so I can understand what causes something to go viral. And the reason I can do that is because I have a skill. It's not a being positive. It's not about enjoying yourself. That could be part of it too. The skill that makes it all happen is the skill of copywriting.
Mhm.
It's I have a definition here of copywriting, which I hope you guys find compelling. Copywriting is the art of crafting persuasive messages
Mhm.
that drive action and turn cold prospects into eager customers.
That's very well said.
So it's it's words. It's the words that you use, whether they be spoken, whether they're written. Um, but those words are what drive the action you want your prospects to take.
Yeah.
And it literally gives you the ability to turn any piece of content into an audience building, lead generating, and customer converting machine. If there's a word being spoken, um, and you're creating that content for business purposes, then copywriting is involved. And so the mistake a lot of people, even a lot of leaders in network marketing, especially the leaders who are trying to transition online, like they built it, the
Yeah.
old school way, and they're trying to
Yeah.
transition online,
Yeah.
and they really underestimate the skill that's required in order to make that transition successfully. And it's like an invisible skill unless you're aware of the word copywriting and what it means. And I don't mean, it's not a legal term. I don't mean copywriting with an R, where it's like, a trademark
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
IP law. That's not, it's copywriting with a W. And it's basically just, it's writing words that allow you to influence, allow you to sell, allow you to do business. And what the words that go on an ad is a form of copywriting. The words that go on your social media post that generate customers is a form of copywriting. And that's the skill that is behind all of Helen's success, all of Mike and Carla's success, all of the, thousands of students that we've had gone through our program that have built six-figure businesses and more. Um, that's the skill, copywriting. And it's a millionaire skill set. It's $1 million skill set. And the only reason, the idea of a hook, grabbing somebody's attention, hooking them, getting them to stop and pay attention, that's a copywriting term. That comes from the world of copywriting. Believe it or not, there's an entire world of people who are obsessed and study the psychology and the art of copywriting, how to write messages. They are paid six-figure, seven-figure salaries to work for certain companies to write these words that would go in a script for a video. They'll be written, and so, and even the title of this live is an example of a hook with copywriting, skill set that went into it. Attention grabbing hooks that stop the scroll and attract your ideal prospects. There's an immediate benefit that if you are somebody that's wanting to figure out how to get people to stop and watch your content and attract your ideal prospects, then you're going to stop and go, yeah, I should watch that. So that's it sounds simple. That's the deceptive part. It sounds
Mhm.
simple. Like, yeah, I can write something like that. But most people can't. Most
Mhm.
people can't without training. And Helen spent years being trained on how to craft these words and how to craft words for her ideal perfect prospects, the people that are gonna be most qualified for what she has to offer. And so that's the first thing you got to know. Like, you want to become obsessed with copywriting and look it up. Like, look up copywriting, do a search on Google. There's blogs on copywriting, and no, but and so there's a lot of information on crafting messages, but especially hooks. So how to write, you can do a search on Google, how to write how to write really good hooks for social media. And you'll get basically some copywriting lessons. That's what you're actually learning. You're learning how to craft messages. And it's $1 million skill, because even though you can get some templates and some formulas are easy to deploy. You're going to grab them, and I'll share some here. Um, but I'm at a point, Helen's at a point where we don't really look at formulas when we write copy, when we write hooks, when we write content. We just, it's almost second nature now. We just do it. We just write it. And the reason Helen has such a successful community and has been so successful in network marketing and with social media is because this is a skill set that's ingrained in her, and it's so immensely valuable. And when you learn it, when you get it, you can write your own paycheck. You never have to work for anybody ever again, whether you're network marketing or not. And so that's number one. And to kind of drive this point home, Helen, you've seen our funnels, uh, and our highest converting funnel right now has funnel is basically just a website that generates leads. So we run ads, and people arrive on a website, and then on the website they give us their contact information, and then after they give us their contact information, there's another page where we make an offer for a product that we can offer them, something inexpensive. And that funnel is like has been responsible for over $10 million in revenue for our company. For every dollar we spend on advertising, we'll make $5 or $6 back. Like on auto, it's like a magic slot machine. So imagine how much money would you spend if for every dollar you put in, you got $5 or $6 back. How much money would you spend on a machine that does that? You'd probably put as much money as you can possibly put in there, and that's actually what we're doing. Over the past year and a half, 2 years, we've spent over $2 million and made 10. So that's a good trade. The key thing about this funnel is that the entire funnel, these two pages, the page where someone opts in and becomes a lead, they say, yeah, this sounds awesome, I'm gonna here's my contact information. And then this other page where they can actually learn about a product and buy something has a total of 10 sentences between the two pages. So 10 sentences. Now, 4 of those sentences are designed to shoo people away. 4 of those sentences are designed to say, unless you're a network marketer, do not proceed, go away. So, and because we're just putting it everywhere. So those 4 sentences, because we're getting a lot of people in the insurance and real estate space that really weren't a fit for what we're doing.
Yeah.
So before we had that problem, we were attracting people that were not our target market. So those 4 sentences are for shooing people away. They're not for converting people. But then 6 of those sentences are actually to convert people. They're actually meant to to let people know, hey, you're in the right place. We got something really awesome for you. And they go, yeah, it sounds like you do. And then another page, that page that gets them to cough up their contact information, basically has 3 sentences that they read and go, yeah, this sounds great. And then they give us their contact information. So 3 sentences. The other page has 4 sentences that they read and go, wow, that's awesome. Here's my money. And so imagine 3 sentences to give people to cough up their contact information, 4 sentences to get people to cough up their money. And by the way, that I'm leaving one thing out. That second page also has a 5-minute video. So it's a 5-minute video plus 4 sentences.
Right.
And by the way, that 5-minute video is completely scripted. I spent a few nights writing the script for that video before I recorded it, and that required copywriting.
Mhm.
But it's a 5-minute video. It's not a 30-minute video.
Mhm.
It's not a hour video like so many like opportunity videos are. It's like a 5-minute video. So and that's it. And then that funnel has that lead generating website has been working nonstop for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, making us a lot of money. And the reason it works, and it's not because it's pretty. It doesn't have any graphics on it. It doesn't have a single picture on it. It's just text and a white background. But the reason it works is because I'm a highly skilled copywriter.
Mhm.
I know what my target market wants to hear. Of course, when I say, "Hey, you can get this if you give me this," of course I deliver on the promise. So there's integrity. You're delivering on the promise, and it causes people to cough up their contact information and give us money every single day. And it's been going for a year and a half, and it's been uber successful. And that's the power of copywriting. There's a friend in the network marketing space. He's a leader. I won't say his name because this will be embarrassing for him. He's an old school network marketer. Very successful doing it the old school way.
Mhm.
And he paid somebody to build him a website that had like very complicated, a lot of tech, a lot of different pages. It had a blog, it had a shopping cart, all his products. It had information about him, information about like there's probably about 100 pages on this website, and it was I think it was built on Shopify too,
Mhm.
and he paid $50,000 to have a company design a website that he wanted to use to basically do what we do. He sells training. He sells training in the
Mhm.
network marketing space. It's more old school training. Um, so technically he's competing with us. So we're like competitors.
Okay.
Um, and so, but I was, I worked for about a year to basically help him in his business, just as a consultant, just because the company he hired just was a train wreck. There was like $50,000 that he blows on this website that does nothing. It never generated a single lead for him. Didn't generate any customers for him. There's no way it would if he advertised this website. There's no way it would do anything. People would just land on the page and then leave.
Mm.
And then I have a 2-page website that cost me nothing to create. I wrote everything, and I
Mhm.
had somebody on my team create the pages, and that took them, a half hour. So I almost paid nothing to have that website created, and it's made and a 2-page funnel makes $10 million, by investing 2 million in it. Now, yeah, I invested the money in the advertising, but again, it was $1 spent, $5, dollar spent,
Yeah.
$5, dollar spent. So it's like that 2 million was spent over time after I knew it was working. You see,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. That's the power of copywriting. And I'm drilling that home before I teach you about hooks, because so many leaders in the network marketing space, including the individual I'm referring to, still to this day don't realize how valuable and powerful and how just life changing the skill of copywriting is. And this is what I want to impress upon you. If you're a leader in network marketing and you think you can do what I do without being trained by somebody like me, it doesn't have to be me, but somebody like me, you're gonna go down the road of my friend who spent 50 grand on nothing. You're gonna blow your money on creating stuff that you think works, but it's not gonna work. Or if you're a brand new person watching this and you start creating social media content, you might, drop me a number one in the chat if you've created content for social media that just hasn't worked for you. That where if you've ever drop me number one, have you ever been frustrated with your lack of results with creating content for social media? And so because I'm about to kind of relieve some of that frustration. And the reason I can teach you what I can teach you, it's because I know copywriting. Helen knows copywriting. And if you learn this skill, then all of a sudden the online world will start making so much sense. You'll actually have the ability, the skill to be able to reverse engineer what helps other people be successful. So the reason I was able to teach Mike and Carla and others about TikTok, even though I never used it, was because my skill set around copywriting and psychology and understanding what was happening there, I was able to understand. All of a sudden, I was able to see what other people couldn't see. And I was able to tell Mike and Carla, hey, if you're going to, this is a great opportunity for you to do it. Here's how to do it. Here's the process. Here's what you need to be aware of. And then they went off and did it using this skill that they already have of copywriting. And that's what helped me understand platforms. So I understand when there's a new platform that rolls out, I understand it because I have this knowledge. And Helen has been successful at TikTok and crushing it on TikTok because she has this skill that she's learned. She knows how to use words effectively to influence people. And go ahead, Ellen.
I was just going to say, I think it's even more important now because so many people are gravitating to new platforms. Like everyone wants to jump on TikTok or Reels or whatever. So there's a lot of people, like it's very noisy out there on social media. So not only do you have to attract attention, but you're fighting against everybody else. There's a lot of people that want to grow on social media and we want to make our time effective. So the quicker you learn these kind of copywriting skills, you can cut through a lot of that noise that's out there. So it's not only the money that, you were referencing as well, Ferny, it's that time that we spend on social media trying to just cut through and break through. And the quicker you know copywriting skills and these like attention grabbing hooks, the quicker you can get that traction, because you can spend a lot of time on social media creating a lot of content and getting no results. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people, and a lot of students do that. But when they really hone in on this skill that you're talking about, you can get that attention quicker. You can cut through all that noise on social media a little bit quicker.
Absolutely. And it actually, the beginning is, so let's get into what makes a great hook. First and foremost, you have to have a target market in mind.
Yeah.
Whom do you want to attract? Who do you want to serve? And the way you know that is the who is demographics. Like, is it, for example, Helen, you have a target market helping women, I think over 45, conquer hormonal weight gain.
Correct.
That is who you help. I mean, that's such a brilliant statement in terms of who you help. So you want to have a statement like that. Demographic means men or woman, age. So what age are they? Age range. Not always, but demographic could also be their role, their profession. So it might be I help small business owners, or I help network marketers, like in my case with my training company. So that's what demographics is. It's like basically describe the person in terms of who they are and what they do. So that's demographics. The other part of that you need to have down is what is their biggest challenge? What is the biggest problem that they're solving for in that situation? So Helen's example, helping women over 45 conquer hormonal weight gain. So the big problem is that they're gaining weight, and well, one of the big problem is that what I love about that statement, Helen, is that it almost seems like it's designed for women who are new to having weight problems. So in other words, maybe they didn't have significant weight problems most of their life, but as soon as they hit that age, 45 or around their 40s or something like that, then they started experiencing, oh man, it's harder to lose weight. Man, I'm gaining all these weight. Like I haven't changed anything. I don't, what's going on. It's like now there's this almost like this, they're gaining weight, but they're confused as to why. Like, and maybe they realize it's something with their body or something with their age. And, or maybe they know like it has to do with hormones and premenopause and, menopause and all that stuff. And at that point, age, yes, your hormones out of whack. Some people might be aware of it, some people don't. But even with your that statement, the people that are not aware that it might be hormones, your statement in and of itself might make them aware. Like if there's somebody that is 45 and suddenly dealing with weight issues, or in their 50s and suddenly dealing with weight issues, and then they come across your profile and they read just that little statement: I help women conquer, for women of 45 and up, conquer hormonal weight gain. Someone might go, hormonal? Might that be the problem? Is
Mm.
that's the reason I can't lose weight? All of a sudden, like there's a little insight there. And if they're already aware that it might be hormones, then they're gonna still love, that statement. And that lets them know, okay, I found what I'm looking for. I found something that might be able to help me. So that statement, so you want to come up with that statement first. You want to know your demographic and you want to know what their biggest challenge is. And then they're gonna have you're gonna want to basically make a list of all the things that people in that market care about. What do they care about? Well, they care about their problems. So in addition to having their primary problem, they're probably going to have a whole list of other problems.
Mhm.
They care about their fears. They're afraid of certain things that they want to avoid. They're afraid of how this weight gain in this example might impact their future in a certain way. So there's fears. You know, they're afraid they might not be able to like have the energy to play with their grandkids. They're afraid they might not be able to, 20 years from now be mobile the way they would want to. They dread the idea of being in their 60s or 70s and in a wheelchair. See, there's the things that are this future based. So there's like present problems that they're afraid of. And then you want to make a list of all the potential fears they might be afraid of too. And then you want to make a list of all the things that they want. What's the result that they want? They want to be able to lose weight. They want to feel better. They want to be, get back to working out. They want to be energetic. They want to be able to play with their kids without getting tired. They want to be able to play with their grandkids without getting tired. They want to be able to keep up with their grandkids. So, they want to be able to do all these things in their dream. You want to also make a list of their dreams. And their dreams are the opposite of their fears. It's like, they want to be able to like be in their 70s and 80s and be active and walking and doing certain activities and all that stuff. They want to be able to play with their grandkids. And so you want to be able to make a list. Here's the thing: make a table with a list of all their problems, all the fears that they're wanting to avoid, the things that they want, the results that they want, and also what their dreams are.
Mhm.
So if you make a table like that, and if you do a list of 10 for each of those things, all of a sudden you have all the ideas you need for at least the next few months for hooks. All of a sudden now you have ideas for topics for all your content on social media. And I'm gonna, Helen, if you don't mind, I'll share something on the screen here that's gonna make this process of coming up with the list of these things, because
Awesome.
I don't remember Helen, when we used to have you do this table. How long would it take you to write this table?
A long time.
Huh?
A while.
Yeah, it took a while. Like
It took a while.
how much of a while? What is a while?
Ages. I don't know, an hour at least, just to, you know, brainstorms, the initial sort of thoughts.
Yeah. So just the initial thoughts. Some of our students, it takes them weeks to,
Absolutely. Like,
to
just,
can continue
yeah.
updating it, and new ideas, and they keep updating this list. Well, I mean, AI makes all this a lot easier now. Here's a prompt that you can punch into ChatGPT, and it's: I'm trying to clearly describe my target market in depth for marketing purposes. Please tell me the primary problems, fears, desires, and dreams of, and then fill in the blank. The people that you want, the demographic, the people I want to help. So the demographic: women over 45, or men over 30, or men over 40, or struggling network marketers or whatever. That's the who have the problem of, and then what is their biggest challenge? Hormonal weight gain. That's where you put that there. And then you're asking ChatGPT, give me a list of 10 for each category, i.e., problems, fears, desires, dreams, and common limiting beliefs, because that could be some ideas for other hooks about why they can't achieve their certain dreams.
Are you screenshotting this, guys? Those of
Yeah.
you that are live
So
or
this
catching the replay, I hope you're
this
screenshotting this.
this prompt will basically will save you countless hours, because this is, whenever you punch this ChatGPT, it gives you a different answer every time you run
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
you can come up with like infinite ideas for topics for content that your audience will want. And so you no longer have to spend hours like Helen used to do, and like weeks, and even when our students spend weeks on this stuff, their ideas are terrible. Like, it's just like the content they produce, it's like nowhere near as good as it can be, because they just don't lack the experience. They're brand new. I don't blame them for that. It's just they lack the experience, but ChatGPT doesn't have that problem. So you can generate unlimited ideas. You can take this off the screen now. I think they got it. So now you can use that prompt, guys. That prompt is so insanely valuable. I can end the webinar right this live right now, and we're done, and it would be, your time is well spent, worth it. Um, and so, but I'm not done yet, because now that you have infinite ideas, basically you just run this over and over again on ChatGPT, and it'll keep generating a list, and then some will be repeat, but a lot of stuff will be new. A list for a bunch of ideas for now content for your social media. But now, okay, so let me focus on reels. Like, basically, a hook is what stops the scroll. It's what stops people from doing whatever they're doing on social media, and paying attention to only your post, or only your reel, or only your video. They're scrolling, and all of a sudden your post comes by, and they go, whoa, and they stop. And then they process it for a few seconds, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And at that point, they make a decision as to whether to keep scrolling, or whether they engage with the content and consume it. That's what a hook does. A hook stops the scroll, and a hook basically compels somebody to want to, like, watch more of your video, or read more of your content, or take whatever next step you want them to take. And so here are some tips for hooks. Uh, well, actually, before I give the tips, first and foremost, a hook is always going to be the part of the content that people see first. So if you're on Facebook, and let's say you share an image on Facebook, well, the hook can be in two places. It can be in the text right above the image, the first line right above the image, and it can be in the image itself if you put some text in the image. On Facebook with a video, the hook can be in the text, right, the first line of the text, and in the first frame of the video. So with a reel, vertical reel, well, the hook is literally the first frame of the video. What's the first thing they see, read, both in the video, but as a caption, but also right below in the accompanying text? What's that first line that they can read? Remember, they're processing your content. They're going to see something, and they're going to process it in a second or two. And so what can they quickly see? They're going to see a caption across the screen, across the video at the top. They're going to see whatever is visually there. They're going to read the first few words of whatever's at the bottom. And then based on that, they're going to decide whether they continue or not.
Yeah.
So that's the hook. So like the hook of this live is the title that Helen gave it: attention grabbing hooks that stop the scroll and attract your ideal prospects. Based on that hook that was promoted to you guys decided, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'm going to show up and spend, an hour here. And so you guys decided to show up on this live because of that hook. And so you processed that for a second or two, and then you go, like, yeah, that's worth my time. Done. So every piece of content has formatted differently, but essentially it's the first thing people see that they can process. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing with reels or with TikTok videos is that in they they maybe have a hook, but the hook only appears like 1 or 2 seconds after the video starts. The hook needs to appear as the first frame,
Yeah.
like second number 0, as the first thing they see when the video starts playing. They can read it across the top. They should be able to read it across the bottom. And if you're speaking something, they should be able to hear it within the first second or two if you're speaking something. And the other thing is, if you're captioning your videos, if you're putting the captions where people can read what you're saying, then they need to be able to read it in the captions as well. So that's where the hook comes in. It can be a combination of different content elements. But I see people making all this mistake. They have a really interesting topic, but people are scrolling past it because they're not watching enough of the video where they get to learn what the video is actually about.
Yep.
And it's not like it's buried deep in the video. It literally appears like 1 or 2 seconds into the video. But when people are doing this with the scroll,
It's too late.
too late, right? Helen, what do you say? Because you're a master at this. I've seen your videos on TikTok. You do everything. You do the hook, you do the caption across the top, you do the transcribing of what you're saying. You got
Yeah.
visual hooks too. You do your before and after. You're going this to this. Well, that picture is actually part of your hook as well. So
Yeah.
what say you?
Yeah. And even just the cover, like they've got to see it. Like as soon as they start scrolling, as soon as they see it, like I've seen so many people do reels and TikToks without the cover. You can't if you need, because then people don't even know what it's about. You haven't hooked them in. So and then like as a creator, when you've done an average hook or an average one, you just it doesn't do as well, because we are in a fast world. I even picked up a comment this morning on my TikTok. My video was less than 3 minutes long, and the comment was, "You're taking too long to tell me. Just tell me." Like whatever my hook was, they just wanted the answer. Like I got them there, but it was like, "You're taking too long." It's like, what kind of world are we living in when somebody watched something less than 3 minutes and they're saying you're taking too long? Like this is the world we live in, guys.
Yeah.
So
And
important.
and by the way, the Chat GPT prompt that I gave you guys to generate all the problems, the fears, the wants and dreams of people in your target market, those are the things that people are in that market are interested in. So if your hook is talking about those things or is conveying that that's what the video is about, then they're going to stop because they're interested in those things. They're interested in losing weight. They're interested in alleviating their joint pain and inflammation. They're interested in whatever it is your product in your company does. And so the hook should have that as part of it. Now, there's different ways of crafting the hook. There's different ways of now we get into, okay, now that we have the list of things, now that we know the mechanics of where to put the hooks and when the hook should appear, well, there's the whole art, which again is, I could spend and I do spend in our mentorship programs literally months teaching how to craft, how to take the information we just shared with you and how to craft it and share it and word it in different ways that makes it super compelling. I'm going to give you one formula here that is probably the formula I use the most, but there's so much more to doing this. There's the type, in terms of the type of hooks. I have some notes here. There's interest hooks, there's question hooks, there's story hooks, agreement hooks, challenge hooks, conversion hooks. Like I have a whole lesson that I don't have time to do on the different types of hooks and the positioning of different hooks. And it's all just to convey to people that I have something that you're going to be interested in. And here's a way to do it. One formula that I use over and over again. And by the way, that website that I talked about that generates leads, the 2-page website that's a funnel. The reason there's only it only needs a few sentences in each page is because those sentences are the hooks. Those sentences, the way I know the word hook is because the headline, the thing you write first at the top of a page, is the hook. So somebody will give me their contact information, become a lead because of the hook that I wrote on that page. And so, and one of the most common formulas that I use on that website, but I also use on social media, is how to blank without blank.
Mm.
So somebody write that down in the chat, please. How to blank without blank. The first blank is how to get this benefit, get this result. Remember, one of the things in the table is what do they want? What result do they want? So how to get this result without this thing you don't want, this problem, this fear, this pain. So how to blank without blank. And so that one formula is one of the most common copywriting formulas in the world. I use it over and over again. In fact, I in that two-page website that generates leads and has made $10 million for our company, that's the exact formula I'm using. And you can use this as a hook for your reels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how I lost 40 pounds or whatever kilos, I forget how many. Yeah, it was for you, Helen.
Yeah.
Without, and then the things that they hate,
Mm.
without calorie counting, without restrictive diets, without extreme dieting, without starving yourself,
Yep.
um, without exercising, you know. So all the like, whatever's true or not for your situation, well, that's like if you use that as a hook or how insert whatever the benefit of what you're selling or offering is, put that as the first blank, and then the last blank is what are the things they don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
um one of my clients, she has a skincare, a collagen product that actually isn't collagen. It's a product that stimulates the production of collagen, and it works, according to her. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm just taking her word for it.
Yeah.
um that basically it's something that they ingest, and that it basically starts disappearing wrinkles in as little as 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, got it. Um and so how to eliminate wrinkles, or how to start disappearing wrinkles in under 3 weeks, the benefit, without having to wait 3 months, you know, without having to wait 3 months for results to kick in.
Without
Yeah,
Botox.
yeah. How to start disappearing wrinkles in 3 weeks, or without um taking without drinking yucky collagen that causes GI issues. So that's one of the problems. I guess I didn't know. That's one of the problems with collagen products is they can potentially like mess up your gut or like cause gas or indigestion or stuff like that. Um, and so it's like, so that's what in that world, people, that the target market is women wanting to eliminate wrinkles who have tried a lot of collagen products. So it's very specific. And so they're targeting women who have already tried a lot of different collagen products. So it's like, okay, what sets your product different? Well, what makes it different? One, you can start eliminating wrinkles without having to wait 3 months to see results. And so, all right, great. That makes sense. And so there's different ways of even phrasing those benefits in different ways that you can use the same formula. I think I just did a couple of versions of
Mm-hmm.
the hooks. Um, and so that's the art and the craftsmanship that goes into creating really great hooks.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's more to it than this. And then also it's like now that you have this foundation, now that you know this foundation, all right, now apply the next step is to apply it to whatever platform you're choosing to build on. And how does it apply to Reels? How does it apply to TikTok? How does it apply to YouTube? How does it apply to Facebook? How does it apply in all these different formats? How's it, so now it's about translating it to all those different platforms and going in depth and seeing examples as to how to do that. And so I don't know, Helen, if you want to talk about now about the event that people will have an opportunity to attend if they want to learn, go deep on this topic, but also go deep on how it applies to all the different platforms that are out there.
Yeah, and that's very important to know, like, how you translate these skills across the platforms, because it is different. And I know with TikTok, particularly for me, there is certain ways that you write things, and the length of things as well. Some of the platforms only give you a certain amount of characters to even sort of write what you want to write. So you've got to tailor all these kind of skills to the platform that you're using. And there is an opportunity for you to learn more about this if you want to. I am so excited to be going back to America. I haven't spoken at an event for you, Ferny, since July last year or the year before. You didn't do one last year, did you? Or is it this year? Anyway.
No, yeah, well, it was all virtual.
All the virtual events, obviously I've helped you out there, but like physically being in person and give you a hug, I haven't seen you for ages. But Ferny is putting on an event in January, which is called the AIE Summit, which is Attract, Influence and Enroll. And it's learning how to attract, how to influence, so you can enroll people into your business. It's in Los Angeles, which I'm excited about because it means one less flight for me, Ferny.
Yeah, it's direct from Sydney.
Yeah, one less flight. So it's in Los Angeles, and we're going to be there January. What was the exact date? I've got
it. It's January 26th to the 28th.
26th, 27th, 28th, and it's 3 days of. Have you got something up there, Ferny? I've got it on my screen. I can share screen. Cool. So let me show you.
Yeah. The cool thing about this event is, like, it's our most successful students, 6 and 7 figure earners, training at an event, and they're going to be teaching all the different attraction strategies that exist on and off social media. So I'm a guy that doesn't like to be on social media. So I've tailored my business so that I have to spend as little time on social media as possible. In fact, being on this live here today is the first time today that I'm on social media. And it's because I'm doing this training with Helen. But there's, depending on your personality, depending on where you're at in your business, you may want to learn, how do I apply these things I just learned today from Helen and Ferny, apply it to social media, apply it to a specific platform, apply it to other options outside of social media, and be able to learn it in person in a workshop style from some of our most successful students that have been successful with TikTok, with Reels, with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, with advertising, with organic strategies through Google search. Like that's something that's hardly ever talked about in the space, but we have students who know how to attract prospects for free through Google without using social media. And so these are the list of trainers that'll be at this event in person, teaching in person. And each trainer will be allotted 90 minutes to train on a particular platform and how they apply copywriting and other things to create the success on these platforms. And they'll spend an hour on training, and then 30 minutes will be actually on you implementing. So, and it's limited to 75 people. So the entire event will be only 75 people. We have 50 tickets. 25 of those tickets are actually for our coaching clients who are working intimately with us. 50 tickets are available to the public. 40 of those tickets are already sold. So we have 10 tickets remaining that are available to the public, and then we will be shutting down the event. So if you want to be there in an intimate environment with about a dozen of our most successful students, 6, 7, and also 8-figure earners there as well, because I'll be there, then you can actually go to attractionmarketing.com/Helen, book your ticket, and be there in LA. Get one of the last 10 tickets for that workshop. It'll be an awesome time, intimate environment. The hotel is actually pretty intimate and small. There's only one restaurant and bar, so it's like we won't be able to hide from you. We'll be able to all hang out You'll be running into us all the time. It's not going to be a big conference with like 1,000 people, or where all the speakers hide behind stage and then run up to their hotel room where they avoid you. Our speakers are obligated, and I'll make them, hang out with everybody, including Helen. And I don't have to make them. That all our speakers and trainers are just cool. They're students of ours, uber successful, and they'll all be teaching on a different attraction strategy for online. Whether you want to use social media, whether you do not want to use social media, whether you want to use a combination, whether you want to use a little bit of social media, but more automation. We'll be covering the full breadth of what's available online, and it'll be a workshop style, so you're not just consuming information, you're actually going to be implementing with our team, myself, and our speakers roaming around supporting everybody as they implement. So if Helen's speaking on stage, then Beck and Megan and some of our other students who are very successful in network marketing will be roaming around helping and supporting our students, and so will our team, our mentors. So it'll be awesome. We usually don't do workshops like this for the public, but we're opening it up for a few people, for 50 people. 40 tickets are sold. We have 10 more remaining. Once we sell those 50, we're going to close, and we're just going to have an awesome, very intimate workshop in Los Angeles with everybody that attends. So that's the offer.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, to my audience as well, Ferny. This is my training ground. This is where I've learnt, what I've learnt, and I'm very grateful to.
Well, tell them how many times you've traveled to America to be at our events.
Yeah, it's over 10 now. I think this will be 11, or 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So to me, it's no excuses. These guys are the best. I couldn't get that kind of training here in Australia. But being in person is another level. I've done a lot of virtual events for these guys over the last couple of years, but being a student initially and learning, like 3 days of comprehensive, and I'm excited to come and not only see you, Ferny, and everyone else, but to sit there and learn, from all the other speakers as well. You can never kind of learn enough about copywriting and digital marketing, social media marketing, what's working now, and the people that are actually in the field building, like myself and a lot of the other speakers, what we're doing, that's what working. We bring all of that, to the event. So we're in the field doing the do, and you can learn so much, not only at the event, but the hanging around the bar, the restaurant, those casual conversations that you can have. It's just priceless. So
yeah. And if you buy me a drink, you're guaranteed to have me in front of you for at least 3 minutes until I finish the drink. And then if you want to buy me another one after that, you get another 3 minutes.
And just a hint, guys, it's tequila. I'll give you the tip. It's the hot tip.
That's right. Yeah.
Tequila.
The good stuff.
That's his poison of choice. But thank you, Ferny, for talking to us today, about the importance of copywriting and hooks. And I just, when you know how important this is. So it's something that you all need to learn to do and concentrate on. And I know, Mike, thanks for your comments in the chat there. I think you've picked up a lot of, valuable information from Ferny sharing today. And hopefully those of you that have listened live, and I know a lot of catch the replay as well, that you really take on board what Ferny's been sharing. And Ferny's a very busy man, and I'm just grateful to have you in my corner and to continue to guide me. And I really look forward to seeing you next month. It is January is not far away. So if there's any opportunity that you can get to this event and, meet Ferny and I and learn, from the best of the best in the industry, particularly in attraction marketing and everything we're talking about, copywriting, we would love to see you there. So the details are attractionmarketing.com/Helen. If you've got any questions, reach out. Please help me thank Ferny for sharing what he has today. Really appreciate you, Ferny. Thanks to you guys for watching live and anyone that's catching the replay later as well.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Bye.